The Tommy Show took pride in being an active member of the local community.
Thrilled for you.
And for making DC a happier place.
Congratulations, Tommy and Kelly, on the launch of your new Tommy Show 2.0.
Get on it, people. Share that out.
And folks, it's the news we've all been waiting for. The Tommy Show, it's coming back.
Live from DC, it's The Tommy Show. Broadcasting around the Beltway and beyond. Real fun DC. Starring Kelly Collis and Tommy McFly. Another hour of The Tommy Show starts now.
This is not a drill. Brad Pitt is in town. We'll get to all that in just a second. Kelly Collis, good morning.
I know, I'm so excited. I want to go try to see if I can spot him in the wild.
Ooh,
I feel like Georgetown is always a safe bet because you have all the fancy hotels there.
And he's like an old school celebrity at this point, and that's where old school celebrities used to go when they would come to DC. So when Brad Pitt was just a young pup, Georgetown was where they were like, oh, you're a celebrity? Right this way.
Right, and I guess now you have more choices. You have the Wharf and the Mandarin and maybe staying down by the Navy Yard. Who knows?
All over. Or potentially at some like hipster hostel. Who knows?
Airbnb.
That's true.
In Arlington, maybe.
Could you imagine if you were Airbnb-ing and Brad Pitt showed up at your place?
No.
If I was Brad Pitt, I would actually only use Airbnbs, and then I would take pictures of people's living rooms and then just like completely mess with everybody. Like how Tiffany Haddish does Groupon. Everyone's like, what?
Well, apparently the guy who rented Taylor Swift her apartment in London didn't know he was renting it to Taylor Swift until much later.
That makes sense.
Until she came out with a song about the apartment on such street.
Oh,
Put
really?
it all together, yes.
Wow, that guy's like, I should have got a Nest Cam. My goodness.
I think that's illegal.
That's true, unless you disclose it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. All right, so the Brad Pitt story, do you want to do that first? Do you want to do that in like a second? When
I want to do it right now because there's
Okay.
there's actually, you can see Brad Pitt in the wild. Here's how it's going to go down. So apparently he has a new movie out. I didn't really know a lot about it until I heard that he was coming to DC. It's called Ad Astra.
Major, we have some highly classified information.
What can you tell us about the Lima project?
Its objective was to search for advanced extraterrestrial life. The ship disappeared approximately 16 years into the mission.
And the commander was?
It was my father's.
Dun dun dun.
So apparently it takes place, Brad Pitt's an astronaut. Some weird stuff starts happening in Earth. They think it has something to do with some extraterrestrials, and there's a father plot. Brad Pitt's father, who is Tommy Lee Jones, went on some sort of exploration. He's been missing all this time, and it's Brad Pitt's job to go find this mission.
Huh.
Yeah. And
Tommy Lee Jones, like Men in Black Tommy Lee Jones. He
Yes.
has some experience with this.
yes. Well, and you say that. Brad Pitt's wife is Liv Tyler, who also played Ben Affleck's wife in
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Huh.
So,
The roles they know.
totally. So Brad Pitt is going to be at the Washington Post today with the director of the movie and a bunch of NASA people. And they're saying that this is the most realistic depiction of space travel that's been put into a movie. And they're going to discuss this. It's a live stream. Anyone can watch it on the Washington Post. I just tweeted out the link. It starts at 4:30 today. So you can see NASA officials and Brad Pitt at the Washington Post. Who knew I would ever even say that sentence?
And they're not saying that, like, the movie is the most accurate as far as extraterrestrials and Tommy Lee Jones. Maybe that's where he's been this whole time.
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, but the actual like mechanics of the space travel and that sort of thing. That's cool.
Yes, it's really cool. And it's cool that it's premiering. There's a premiere later in the evening where Brad Pitt apparently is going to be at.
Yes, that's what I'm told. I'll be on the red carpet tonight when he does his premiere in DC. And we'll bring you that Brad Pitt interview if he stops by and talks to us tomorrow morning.
Will you tell him I say hi?
I will.
Okay.
I'll be like, Kelly says hi. He'll be like, that girl I met in Georgetown all those years ago?
I know. I've never met Brad Pitt. I've never even seen him sort of from afar.
I can confirm he exists.
Okay.
Because he came to town for his premiere of Fury at the museum years ago.
That's right. That was a George Clooney's
It
shizzle.
was. Yep.
Yes.
And he, no, you're thinking Monuments Men.
Okay.
Fury was the other war movie he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting them all confused.
It was when they were trying to get like so a lot of times in DC, when big films come to DC for premieres, it's because they're trying to wrangle votes for awards. And now we're getting into that time of year where there's like the voting is happening for Oscars and that kind of stuff. Because fun fact, like the third largest voting block of Oscar, Emmy, like the Foreign Film Awards is in DC.
Did not know that.
And so that's why this time of year you have all these like premieres popping up because they invite the potential voters to come see the movie, and then Brad Pitt happens to swing by the screening.
What type of voters have these, like politicians, lobbyists, or do we know?
It's all over. So DC in general, I'm glad you asked, Kelly. DC in general has a large pocket of performing arts people, of producers and actors and that sort of thing. DC, because think of all the shows and stuff that are made here. DC has a big contingent of those people who would have votes for like a SAG Awards or like the Academy for the Oscars. It's not like New York or LA. Like that's where obviously the lion's share of the voters are, but there are also people who vote on these things that are in the DC area. Nice. And so in the last few years, these big films have figured out that swinging by here might help. Like Brie Larson came for Room. Remember back in the day with that? And Jessica Chastain is basically here like every day with whatever she's trying to win an Oscar for this year, because she always has those like crazy epic movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why now you'll have a lot of these premieres happen, and they'll happen like quickly. Like we found out about Brad Pitt over the weekend.
Yes.
So that's that. That's my fun inside the nerdy red carpet industry story for you.
Well, look alive, DC. If you see Brad Pitt walking down the street, it's probably Brad Pitt.
And you thought you didn't learn anything on this show. Take that, NPR. Ha-ha!
Well, just to shift gears just a little bit, I'm very sad by this. So Rick Ocasek, you might know him from this band. Still a great song.
Shake It Up, Not Shake It Off.
Different song.
Yes.
He passed away over the weekend. He was in his 70s. They're saying it's natural causes. Apparently his estranged wife found him. There's a story there. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Just last year, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So he also joins Eddie Money, who passed away as well. Yeah. 2 Tickets to Paradise. Those two legends.
I get what you did there. Okay.
Those two legends in music passing away over the weekend. And as I was doing more research on Eddie Money, he has a reality show, which he's already taped. I guess he got signed to do like 70 episodes of it or something ridiculous like that. It was very popular.
On like VH1 or History Channel?
It's not on VH1. It's on a channel Access.
Okay.
I don't know. But I just think that was kind of cool. And apparently he knew he was sick with cancer, but didn't, because he was doing the reality show, and this is the story, that so many jobs relied on him being healthy and being part of the show as far as the production team and putting it together. He kept it very private.
Wow. So he didn't want to hurt people's income and everything.
Mm-hmm. So
that's awesome.
We're learning over the weekend. Kind of sad. I hope they rest in peace.
Yes, absolutely. Old Navy. Get a load of this. Talk about breakups. They're splitting up with the Gap.
I can't with this news. I have a Gap card. I've been a member of the Gap bonus structure for probably, I'm going to call it 20 years now.
Since you used to buy like grass clipping cologne, right?
I still do.
Do you really?
Yes,
I still sell grass?
Well, not quite, but they have their fun little colognes. Yes, they do. And the T-shirts, and now my kids get all their stuff there. I like, this is the end of an era. So Old Navy's doing their own thing now.
Yeah, they're going off on their own. They're becoming their own company and splitting off. And they're going to open up 800 stores across the country, which is crazy because brick and mortar stores are closing like mad. And the fact that Old Navy's like, actually, we're going to do 800 new stores.
And they're breaking up with the Gap. It's like the new version.
Maybe, this happens when there's divorces, right? Like,
you go off and get a better self.
I was going to say the person who's like going to leave or whatever's going to leave, ends up working out a little bit and hitting the town and doing all the things and being like, I'm doing all the things you said I could ever do when I was with you. That's what the Old Navy's doing right now. They're just like, whatever, I'm making it all happen.
Hurry in for thousands of styles from just $5 now at Old Navy.
I hear you. Thousands of styles for just $5 is my favorite.
Which is crazy because you would think thousands of styles for just $5 would be the company that's going out of business. Not the one that's splitting off and being like, actually, I'm going to start my own thing. Yes, Little Fox, senior intern, what's up?
It's kind of surprising to me.
Are you an Old Navy fan?
Yes, I haven't been in a really long time, but I had to go to get pants for work because I didn't own anything khaki before I started
yes.
working at my job.
The basic khaki.
And I found a really good deal on khaki shorts. And so now that they're splitting off, I'm like, wow, I really need to go back.
Yeah, because you can get...
Hurry in for thousands of styles from just $5. Now at Old Navy.
Mm-hmm. Not a commercial, by the way, but it could be. How many do you think, because I did a little research on this yesterday, how many Old Navy stores do you think that there are currently in the D.C. area?
Ooh.
Like the greater, like Beltway and beyond, Maryland, Virginia, D.C.?
I'm going to say 20.
Little Fox, what do you think?
Oh, gosh. Probably 30.
Ooh. She's closest without going over. Actually, she did go over. So Kelly wins. There are 29.
29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've probably been to about 15 of them.
Now you'll have more options.
I love it. My son wears a uniform. He has to wear a tie and pants and like long pants to school. So that is like a ritual that we do is find the khakis and the blue pants and the white shirts and all the things at Old Navy.
I used to do the same thing because I went to Catholic school for elementary school, and I would get Old Navy khakis, and they would be like, "Those aren't the uniform companies. Those were we had to have the uniform company ones."
So
and I was like, "The uniform company ones are made of plastic, so they're itchy. So sorry, this is how this is gonna go down."
You're breaking the rules even at a young age, Tommy. I love it.
Remember when Old Navy taught us what tech vests were? The big puffy vests, Old Navy tech vests.
Generation Cliff there.
Yeah, totally.
Because I started with the brands as buying Banana Republic because when I was a young professional, that's where I could buy kind of affordable quote unquote suits. And then I would get my casual wear at Gap, and it wasn't really until I had kids I started really doing the Old Navy because of just the way Old Navy didn't launch until the 90s.
Yes.
And I
with
was
tech vests.
Right, but I was already in the workforce.
You were too over tech vests at that point.
Yes, I was wearing like the matching suits and trying to like rule the world in my 22 suits.
Yes. Also, I think, just side note, as long as we're going down the affordable clothing and like young professional wear, I think Banana Republic has gotten way too expensive.
I haven't walked into a Banana Republic in ages.
There's one on M Street. There's one in all the malls. And I walk in there and I'm like, you guys are fancy Old Navy. We're like, what are you doing here? Stop it.
Well, but it's the whole brand evolution, right? I mean, it was meant to be that way.
Yes. But also I'm like, I know, like, so basically, so I feel the same way, like with cars, right? You like one car, the fancy brand is like really just a regular brand. And I'm like, I know what you started with. Like, this is all tech vest, people. I don't understand why you think that this shirt is $180. It all came from the tech vest.
There's nothing at Banana Republic that's $180.
You haven't been in there. You are out of touch, Kelly Collis at City Shop Girl. I will go into Banana Republic and I will walk right to the sales rack and I'll be like, okay, now we're talking more affordably priced Banana Republic here. Well, I have actually walked out being like, you guys are fancy Old Navy. And then
maybe that's why they're breaking up.
That's true.
But I'm very concerned about my points. I literally have thousands of points in gift certificates through because I have their credit card. I've done the whole thing. I'm a lifer. So this really does affect this hits close to home.
You know what they say, Kelly.
Hurry in for thousands of styles from just $5. Now at Old Navy.
Make sure you get in there and make it happen.
I will.
Also want to say maybe they'll be getting an Old Navy at Rio Lakefront because that has got a whole bunch of reimagination going on over there. It was the grand reopening over the weekend. I got to spend a lot of Saturday there emceeing the stage with Aaron Willett and this band called Groovelicious that I have never heard of before until yesterday, and they were in fact Groove and Licious. They were like a disco-y cover band.
Fun.
And I was like, how's that gonna go? Amazingly. There was like 1,000, I don't know, it's event math. There was 100,000 people on the Rio boardwalk.
Like disco music?
Yes.
Yeah.
They had
so cool.
the glittery costumes and the feather boas, and they had a disco ball. The drum kit had like the outline of like the disco dancer on it. It was amazing.
Love it.
Little Fox was there too, and we took our peeps to dinner at Silver Diner, which was awesome. We had such a great time with Ellen and Lisette and Flo and their kids and guests, and Silver Diner in Rio gave us this huge table right outside. We were saying hi to peeps. We watched the fireworks. They had fireworks at Rio Lakefront. It was amazing.
It's really cool.
Such a great time, and I just loved saying hi to everybody. Thank you for coming out and just being fam and enjoying an awesome Saturday under the stars.
Hey Tommy, this is Grady from Hanover. I just wanted to say it's been a great pleasure meeting you and talking and just interviewing. It was just really fun. So I want to just give a quick thanks because it was probably the best day of my life. This is Grady. Goodbye.
Did you pay him to say that?
No, I didn't, Grady. You're the man. Thank you very much. It was the best day of my life meeting you too, dude.
Wow, Tommy. Did you give him a lollipop or anything?
No, we were like low on swag. We didn't give him any swag, did we?
No, we didn't.
We were swag
didn't have any
deficient.
left.
Yeah.
Wow,
We
that's
were
really cool.
Swag deficient at that point.
I still can't get over that Gaithersburg has a boardwalk.
And a lakefront.
Yes.
It's amazing.
That's just so cool.
Yep.
To hear.
Yep. We'll have that whole recap up shortly on the Tommy Show Facebook page. To the Hunter brothers and the Hunter mother and the Hunter father, thanks everyone for coming out and hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a blast. And we got up early on Saturday too.
Yes, this is really just such an honor to be part of. It's the Race to Beat Cancer. It kicks off at the Four Seasons. The race starts and ends at the Four Seasons. And it is so incredible because we've been part of it for 9 years. And to see it grow and to see that community, the Four Seasons staff get involved and be part of this race. And then the doctors and the staff and patients and their families from MedStar, the cancer unit over at Washington Hospital Center. It's just such a great way to start off the Saturday. And really cool story came out from there. And we have some audio from the race that morning from Viola Davis.
Yeah, they were like, Viola Davis is here. And I was like, where? But actually, an even better Viola Davis got up.
Right.
Because her story was awesome.
I am a breast cancer survivor. I was treated at Washington Hospital Center Cancer Institute, and I am cancer-free. And a large part thanks to the funding that was raised at this race, because I got to get into cancer trials after my treatment that helped me with my nutrition, that helped me with my survivorship and wellness care, and that's currently helping to track my heart after having chemo. So there's all these important things. And what I want to say to each and every one of you, not to just thank you for your generosity and commitment and being out here and running this race with me this morning, to the commitment that you have to each other, because right now we are a family here. This is a family. If you're not a cancer survivor, you're a cancer supporter of a cancer survivor, or you're a cancer supporter of someone who you know is a cancer survivor. Today I met angels in the hot pink. I met someone who was running next to me whose aunt had lung cancer, whose mother was a breast cancer survivor. All of you are out here running and supporting for a purpose. And I'm happy to be part of that purpose. For everyone who completed this race this morning, I thank you 1,000 times over, and welcome to the family.
She was incredible.
Right? A better Viola Davis than the other Viola Davis.
Than the very famous one, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what's really, as we've gotten to know the sort of organization and as Viola says, the family at MedStar at Washington Hospital Center, it is the only area in D.C. that does these special, very targeted cancer trials.
Right.
And it's sort of cutting edge in its own right, and it's just incredible, that community there. It's been really, really awesome. So great morning. We're part of it. We're Viola. We've raised all this money over the course of the race, which has been going on for almost 40 years. They've raised millions of dollars.
And by the way, if you were there and you were part of the race, we streamed the whole thing on the Tommy Show Facebook page, so you can see yourself finishing the whole. I mean, it's like an hour and a half of video. You can scroll to the part where you think you finished and check it out.
That is really cool to see. We had a new camera that we were playing with. It's
little
really
toys.
Neat. Yes. But the very final end of the race, there was a young man in a wheelchair who it was a 5K all throughout Georgetown, and he kind of just brought the house down, finishing up the race.
We got our last finisher right here, coming across all the way. This is incredible. He needs all the cheering he can get.
It was awesome.
And this is at the end of the race. People are kind of having breakfast because the Four Seasons, by the way, provides that at the end of the race, which is incredible. And everyone came down to cheer on this young man and finish the race. It was just really cool to see, and just a great way to end such a wonderful morning.
And he did it in like 90 minutes too.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in a wheelchair, and he wasn't like he was a wheelchair athlete.
Right.
He was just somebody who is in a wheelchair who was like, I'll do a 5K. Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole course. I mean, and the course goes out of Georgetown. It goes up like onto the Whitehorse Freeway and like over back by the monuments, and there's hills and there's valleys, and it's a tough course to run it or walk it or jog it, let alone to do it in a wheelchair. It was incredible to see him finish and make it happen.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you everyone who made it out there, and thank you for everyone who decided to let us be a part of the Race to Beat Cancer. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So we got to talk about the woman who swallowed her engagement ring and forgot that she had swallowed her engagement ring.
It is the most bizarre, true story you're going to hear.
We'll do it next. Thanks for watching, fam. Have a great morning. If you're joining us into the video a little bit later, it's going to post up full. Go back to the beginning because we have details of how you can see Brad Pitt in D.C. today. What? I know.